I've already done a video about placing text on a path, and I'd like to demonstrate some of the warp effects that you can apply to type and objects that can give you the effect of looking like a waving flag or an archway, and they are very quick to do, and they're also easily changeable and editable. For my best bet here, I'm going to work with centered text. So the text you work with should be center aligned. It's going to work better, just in my experience, if you do it that way. And what I'm going to do is go up to the main menu and under the effect window, look at warp. And there are several different warp effects here, some better than others. I'll start with the first one, which is arc. And I can see this flyout menu comes up, and I can, as long as I've got preview checked here, I can control the bend so it goes above or below. Now, arc means that the vertical strokes of the letter forms are going to look like they're following a curve. Notice how they're like radiating out. That's different from, and I can choose the other effects right from this flyout window. So if I'd say, well, arc isn't really what I wanted, I was thinking more arch. And in this case, the vertical strokes stay vertical. Uh, for me, it's neither here nor there. It's about what kind of effect are you trying to get in the context of your poster. There's several others here, bold shell, but I mean, maybe they work, maybe they don't. For the most part, for me, they don't. But arch, arc, flag. I can see how like it gives a nice smooth sine wave here, and it can start either above or below. I can get some distortion here. That's not usually a fan of that. I don't see the benefit. And then the last one is rise, where it might just start level and then go up, and I can control the rise or fall of that type. So those are the effects. I'm going to go back just to arc here and give it a little more space so I can see what's going on. Okay, so there's the effect. And if I want to edit or change that, if I look over here, this little dot that says appearance, and if you don't see the appearance tool in your toolbar, I can go to window, appearance, and that will make it fly out. Now, when I select the type, I can see that there's this warp effect shows up in my appearance window. So I can turn that on or off. I can keep it handy. Um, if I look at this text if I look at my document in outline mode, view outline, I can see that my type is actually still flat and it's not curved at all. The curving appearance is something that Illustrator is rendering on the fly. So if I try to select my type, I'm actually still selecting it on that horizontal line. It leaves the text in a place that I can get to it that's horizontal and vertical. And if I want to adjust the curve of that warp later or say, oh, you know what, I'd rather it was flag, I can do that through the appearance window. So it gives me a lot of power. I'm just going to delete that whole effect and start over. Now, the other great thing about effects, unlike text on a path, um, effects can be applied not just to type but to groups. So if I draw, I'm going to get the rectangle tool. If I draw a rectangle here, give it a fill color so I can see it, and a stroke color so I can also see that, just have a point of reference. Right now it's 2. Whoa. I thought I was making a 2-point stroke. Let's do 3. So I've drawn a rectangle in front of my text. If I object, arrange, send to back, I can see that my text is there. I'm also going to add little banner fringes on the edge, and I'm not going to talk too much about this, but I'll demonstrate it. I'm going to start by drawing a square, and then I'm going to come over to the pen tool and choose the delete anchor point and just subtract one of those so I have a nice 90-degree triangle. Then I'm going to use the reflect tool, which is partnered with the rotate tool. So if you don't see that, the reflect tool, or O on the keyboard. And I'm going to double click this preview. I'm going to flip it across the horizontal axis and make a copy while I'm at it. So I'm close there, but it's not quite a fringe. I mean, I guess I could do that and send to back. But I'm not really digging that. The stroke there is overlapping. I just want this to look like it's one continuous piece, not a folded banner. So now I'm going to go to my window Pathfinder. The Pathfinder tools may or may not be over here in your control menu. But what the Pathfinder can do for me is unite things or subtract things in front. I'm not going to get too much into it, but I can unite those into one whole piece. So that's in the back. Over here, I'm just going to flip it on the vertical axis. So I've got another one over there. And then I'm going to select, I might do this not quite the way. If I just select all of these things and go Effect, Warp, Effect, Warp, Arc, that's not quite right. What's happening is, because each of these are individual elements, they're each getting their own arc of 29 or 30%, right? So each of them is having that effect applied to them. Not what I'm looking for. What I want to do instead is select these, object group, and now I can apply the effect to that group. So if I come down to Effect, Warp, Flag, now that whole collection of elements behaves as one thing. When I click on them with the black arrow in the appearance window, I can turn on or off that warp. I can, by double clicking in the appearance window, go back and change the appearance. No, I'd rather go the other way. And again, if I look at this in outline view, outline, the whole warping of this is rendered by Illustrator. So I can still highlight this text and change it. I'm going to hit Shift, the best thing ever. Now my text is too long for my box, but I'm going to double click into isolation mode. Actually, I'm just going to look at this in outline mode. Command O, Command Y, sorry. Cancel, Command Y. I should be able to select, I can drag this, drag these things around, make my box bigger, move these, and if I exit my group, I can see that I've changed that banner. Still have complete control of warping, arcing, whatever. So a really powerful tool for working with text is the effect, warp, and the collection of tools there. They're also accessible from the appearance window. I can get to them here too. Effect, warp, this little FX down there. But that's the warp tool in a nutshell.